Boobies!
Nice.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Great. We're chaotic today.
Just a little bit.
I love it.
Where are we
Love
chaotic?
it. At Boobies,
Boobies.
Rogue Media Network.
Yeah. Hi, you guys. This is Joshua,
And I'm Caitlin.
and we are back to talk about another horror movie, you guys. And
That's
we're
right.
continuing on our
Summer of horror.
horror. Yeah.
I was
our
going to say
horror
summer of
theme.
slashers.
Ooh.
This one is a slasher.
Yeah, it is. And
So?
Friday the 13th was also a slasher.
Yeah. Midsummer, I mean,
Not
it's
so
pretty kind of gory, but yeah, not a slasher.
Did anybody get slashed at any point? Nobody got stabbed, did they? It was all either
one guy-
bludgeoning
Yeah.
or fire or
that one guy got eagle.
oh, that's
eagled.
right. So at some point, I'm sure he had to
He
get slashed.
had to get slashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slashers. All right. So
Summer of slashers.
today we're going to be covering. Would you like to point out the year, Caitlin?
1997.
1997's.
1 year after Scream.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a lot of similarities.
It did. Yeah. They were trying to piggyback off of that.
They
It kind of
sure
gives the Friday the 13th version of what they tried to copy off of Halloween. But it is going to be I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Or as we so lovingly both named it in our notes,
You say it. You say it.
IKWYDLS.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's the
IKWYDLS.
acronym.
I like it. It rolls like right off your tongue.
IKWYDLS.
I'm also
Thanks for
like,
listening to IKWYDLS Network.
Literally.
It sounds like a fucking radio show.
Yeah.
I guess we are a radio
And for someone
show.
who's running off of just like pure coffee jitters
Yeah.
and adrenaline,
That's you.
it's fun to say.
I slept, but I didn't take my medicine until like 2 a.m. So then I was
Does that throw
up
you off?
in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Does it give
for
you
a
like
long time.
crazy dreams?
No.
You're
Well,
probably-
I mean,
probably
I did
used
have
to
some
it.
weird dreams last night, but not. I've had. Oh man, I've had a lot of weird dreams this week. I don't
Like where
know.
they segue and melt into each other?
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
just like some weird ass shit.
Mm-hmm,
But anyways, but yeah. So we're here. I'm in my new Two Girls One Ghost merch because it came in the mail literally right before this.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah, I
I
got
love
my
it.
Camp TGOG sweater and my
Mhm.
little Sven bucket hat. Sven is their ghost.
Oh, okay.
It's the name of their ghost. So it's my Sven Terry bucket hat. I got it in the baby pink, of course, because my whole life is pink. And then I'm also drinking in honor of Corinne Bat Squatch,
Bat Squatch.
a hazy IPA.
The
that
can
is,
looks like a scary movie poster.
I know,
almost.
it's
Yeah,
so
it
cute.
fits
And-
in.
oh, look, it's Rogue Brewing Company. Look at
Wow.
that. You guys need to partner with them. I don't even know where the hell they're from, but that's
Literally?
pretty cool.
Oh, it did.
It's Rogue.
It's right on the top. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Where
There
is
we
this
go.
from?
Knocked over your phone.
Oh, Newport. What's that? Oregon? Newport. Oh, we hate them. Fuck Oregon. That place
Mhm.
sucks.
If you're listening from Oregon, stop. Just kidding.
Just
Please
kidding.
keep streaming.
Um,
It's like all the streams are coming from Oregon.
and just like, oh no. But-
all right. So yeah, let's get into this movie. Like you said, it's very kind of draws a lot of like, or makes you feel a lot of similarities in feeling and ambiance from the Scream movie,
Mhm.
Scream franchise, which had came out just before that. And actually, I believe it was written by the same person who wrote Scream.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
Yeah.
Kevin Williamson, I believe is his name.
Nice. I
yeah.
have that it was written by, or
If-
directed by Jim Gillespie.
Mm-hmm.
And then why doesn't it tell me who it's written by? That's pretty rude. I don't,
They're trying to gatekeep information from
They
you
are.
specifically.
God. Yeah. They can't.
Oh, only from your phone.
Only
Watch,
from
I'm gonna
my
pull
phone.
it up.
Oh, probably. Oh,
Who
no.
knows? Because technically, never mind. It was a book. That's what it was. It was a book already, and then they adapted it. That's what it was.
Now, was this Hook and this Hook story, like, was that always part of it?
I
Or
believe
like
so.
did it originate
Mhm.
from here? Or did
From
it
the book, you mean?
yeah.
I
Or was it
believe so.
another urban legend on top of that, because I feel like I've heard that urban legend
Oh
before.
yeah. No, that's definitely from. That's why they were playing it up, like in the like, the beach scene and the. Well, I heard it
Mm-hmm.
this way. It was definitely playing up on like how, uh, urban legends, tall tales, like how things like progress and change, kind of like when you're playing telephone,
Yeah,
and like it becomes this whole other thing, and everybody hears a different story of how someone got slashed or killed.
I love it.
And what actually I'm looking it up, and it was the screenplay was written by Kevin Williamson. So he
Okay.
is the same dude who did Scream.
Well, that's awesome then.
So that's probably why it feels a lot within the same vein of Scream. But it is loosely based on the 1973 novel of the same name by Lois Duncan. So yeah,
Oh.
it's 73 to 97. That's a pretty good
He
little
wrote
gap
this
there.
script before Scream.
Okay.
So Kevin Williamson
Good
wrote
tidbit.
this script before Scream, but was unable to sell it. Following the big screen success of his next screenplay, Scream, Columbia Pictures immediately bought I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Good on them.
So that's cool.
Honestly, I kind of really enjoyed this movie. I don't know.
Oh,
Like,
I did too.
like-
I was fully, like, literally from the start when it was like as 90s as it fucking gets.
that from this opening
like,
song, and I felt the
yes.
grunge 90s like kind
Yeah.
of feeling ambiance. I was
And just
digging
like that
it.
pan in was so
Mhm.
90s too. Everything that
With
was
the
happening.
ocean and the credits coming up on
Yeah.
it, and
And the
that
way that
voice, the
the
guy singing.
Picture,
Mhm.
like the title card, the way
Oh,
the title
yeah.
card came up, it was like, yeah, this is 90s. Everything about this
I
is
was
90s.
really enjoying it, and I
Mhm.
remember, I've seen it a long time ago, like in full
Mm-hmm.
when I was younger, and
I'm
then
trying to decide if I've ever actually have
had
seen
seen
this.
it. Yep, I saw it a long time ago, and then I would see it probably like here and there because it's one of those movies that would like come on TV on like TNT or something like that, or like back when I was like a teenager or something living at my parents' house, but like would only catch like pieces of it. So like I
Yeah.
never really like. This was my first time kind of really going in with like a clear like, okay, I'm watching this with the intent of like really paying attention to every detail.
Yeah.
And I thought it just really was entertaining.
Yeah,
to
it
be
was.
honest.
It
Mhm.
was.
And
I liked it a lot.
I liked the pace of it as well.
Yeah, it did go pretty well. I of course chose to watch this literally. It
before.
literally
Right before
stopped
this.
watching. The movie ended at 2:04.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be here
at like 2:10.
2:10.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Mhm.
what? Check it out. But it, even with the like press for time, I was still like, okay, this is good. Yeah.
Mhm.
I was worried I was gonna miss the end because I was like, I need to know how everything is.
And so okay, so when you were talking about The Hook, this film draws inspiration from The Hook, which is a 1980s slashers film,
Okay.
and Prom Night and The House of on Sorority Row.
Oh, okay.
So
I
it
can
kind
see
of
that.
draws from all of those, which they were kind of about like their college age. So
Yeah,
they were going into college. Sorry.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was really good, and also too with this cast, it was a pretty good cast,
big
and
cast,
they were
yeah.
also pretty like famous '90s celebrities by that
Mhm.
point, all of them
Yeah.
in their own right.
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar and
Mhm. Who had
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
who ended up, I believe Scream 2 came out in '97, or no, Scream 2 came out.
Oh,
Yeah, it did,
I had it pulled
and
up.
she was also in Scream 2.
That's right.
She gets
was.
thrown out the window.
Yeah,
she plays Cece.
That's right. She is Cece.
Yeah, and her role kind of sucks because she was only there for a little bit, and she literally gets like stabbed and then thrown through some French doors, and then stabbed
1997.
again, and then thrown off the
Yeah,
balcony.
what a fucking murder.
Way to murder someone. Yeah.
It's really intense.
Oh, that was because the thing with the sequel, you gotta up the ante.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
And so,
Oh,
we
some
also
people
had-
thought that this was, many critics and fans felt this was a huge step down from Williamson's more clever and innovative Scream scripts. I still, okay, yeah.
it's because they're in kind of the same vein, but they do something different. Because Scream is almost like it's in on the joke. It's making fun of itself.
Yeah.
It's like almost horror comedy, where this is an actual slasher where he's not really trying to make fun of anything. It's
Exactly.
really trying to take it more seriously.
And it was,
And I did.
It was, I mean, there's some good moments in it.
Mhm.
Apparently the writer of the book,
Hated it, didn't she?
Louis Duncan?
Lois. I
Lois.
think it's Lois. It's a woman.
Was super opposed to her young YA novel being reworked into a slasher film, stating she was appalled. Damn, in one interview. And this was due to the fact that her youngest daughter was murdered by an unknown assailant in 1989. Fuck.
Wow, that's so distasteful.
She said, as the mother of a murdered child, I don't find violent as something to
no.
squeal and giggle about. Oh, yikes.
Jesus.
But it says her original book wasn't that far off from a slasher, though. It's still a bunch of guilty teenagers being stalked and terrorized by a murderous man.
It gives that maybe she didn't get a check.
Nobody dies in her version.
And she was mad about it.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Or she didn't get a big enough check. Because if you get a big enough check, you don't care. And so, anyways, yeah. And it also spawned 2 sequels. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. I've seen the second one. Not that great.
Yeah.
And I've never seen the third one. So, but I don't even know if it's like.
Do you hear that?
I did. But
okay. Sorry, I was like, what is that?
I don't know. Maybe it's just in our heads.
Maybe.
But yeah, do you want to dive into it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we said, I was really digging the beginning. The scene was very grungy. The credits rolling over the ocean and like the winding road and the beach scenes like intertwining with each other. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a really like beautiful way to bring in like a horror movie.
Yeah,
I don't
it really
know,
set the scene.
because I was really captured. Yeah, and you're setting the scene exactly of like this is like a very like marina. What do you call it?
Yeah, like a
fishing town.
Yeah,
fishing village town. Yeah. They're off of where is it? Like is that off the East Coast, right?
Southport. It was in North Carolina.
Okay, yeah. That's
so,
east. Yeah.
Yeah. So in North Carolina,
Atlantic Ocean.
Really, really pretty rocky kind of beaches.
That water is cold out there, isn't it? Beach water? Isn't all beach water cold, other than like the Gulf?
Oh yeah, maybe. I was like, the Gulf ain't cold.
Because I've been to the Pacific Ocean, and that was pretty cold. But
I mean, I've swam in. I'm from North Carolina, so I've literally have been to the beaches there.
Is it cold, Caitlin?
A lot.
Can you confirm?
All I
deny,
remember is we'd go to
no
Topsail
comment?
Beach, and there was like thousands of petrified shark teeth on the beach. So that was really what I
That's
spent
really
all day
cool.
collecting was shark teeth.
I want to go there.
Yeah,
I love sharks.
I love sharks when they're far away from me.
I have a shark on my titty.
That's right, you do.
Yeah,
Shark kitty. I love it.
Ooh ha ha. His name is Mako.
Mako?
And there's no ingenuity in that because it's a Mako shark. So I just named it Mako.
Okay. Mako shark. I didn't know that was a kind of shark.
Sharks.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. And they have their teeth are just like gnarly, just razor blades, just ready to just like cut up their fish.
Jaws 2.0. Mako. That's a new
That
horror
would
film.
be really cool, actually. Ooh. I'm going to write a screenplay for it.
Let's do it.
Okay. And so anyways, we have after all, we get this like senescent. That's not even a word. This scenic, senescent. We get these scenic like intro. We see a man that's like sitting on a ledge.
Yeah, it was and he was drinking
very close to the ledge, drinking.
Like, homie, that's a dangerous spot to be sitting and drinking.
But it gives also like he knew he was. He seemed like a man who
he looked
was down on the dumps a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we have some. He's flicking. What do you call those little spinners? Like a keychain, maybe, or necklace?
Keychain necklace kind of thing. It was something that had to do with him and Susie.
Yeah, and it says "I love you," and it's one of those things where you like if you like flick it and it spins, you can actually see what it says.
It's a time
otherwise
turner.
you wouldn't. A time turner. Okay, that's cool.
Not really. That's just Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yeah. I wish I had a time turner.
I wanted one of the replicas as a kid so badly.
I bet they were expensive.
They were to my kid
brain. Yeah,
but
now it's
poor
like,
as fuck. I think it was only like $50. So.
Oh, but still,
that's a lot of money when you don't have your own money. So,
yeah, I didn't even have money for like the Scholastic book fair.
I know. Well, one time I did save up my money and I got one time I bought an Edgar Allan Poe book from there, but then I also bought this autographed photo, like framed photo of Christina Aguilera. It wasn't an actual autograph. It was just a printed photo of Christina
Aguilera. Ex-Tina.
Yep. And I was like, it was in a little gold frame.
Was that like in her dirty days? What is that?
I think it's just also like Xmas, like Christ.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's just the one of the like Greek or something word for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or symbol. I don't actually know if that's correct, but I do know that it is. If Greek is the correct language, that idea though is correct. I just don't know which language it is.
Okay, gotcha.
but anyways, after that we pan into a pageant happening, and we of course get Miss Helen up there, aka
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yep, and
the Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Whenever they were sitting there watching, because then you get to see
at the balcony,
Barry Ray and Julie up there. And so that's Jennifer Love Hewitt,
Freddie Prinze Jr., and Ryan Phillippe.
Yes.
And those are our main casts.
Yes.
Or I wouldn't say protagonists, but just like
they're the people we're
victims.
focusing on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And whenever Barry yells like, "That's my girlfriend," I was like, "Oh, her and Freddie aren't together? Scam."
No, yeah, because the way he was talking about her one.
Yeah.
Right? But then also, because they're married. I think this is actually where they met.
Yeah, probably.
If not right before it.
It did say, I think there was a fact in here that said, despite being part of the main cast and appearing in many key scenes together, the characters Helen and Ray only speak to each other twice. And basically, yeah, and then despite the fact that the two barely interact on screen, Geller and Prince became good friends after meeting on this film, and they later fell in love and married. Are they still married?
They still are married.
Fucking good for them.
Yeah. They found the secret in Hollywood. I don't know. They stopped making movies.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
They found other endeavors.
They were part of the mystery.
Oh yeah, the mystery gang.
Yeah.
That's what a fun thing to do. Like with your spouse, like portray like Scooby Doo characters. Literally.
That's amazing.
And you get 2 movies out of it. Man, they really should have made a third, to be honest.
They should.
Sure,
those
like,
were both so good.
They could honestly, I'm sure they look good enough. They could still do it.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen Velma in other movies. I forget the actress. She was also in La Llorona. And she looks amazing still.
Yeah, she's in lots.
Yeah. Oh,
Shaggy.
Shaggy. Come on.
Scream.
Literally. Literally. All right. So back to the movie. Yeah, we get the pageant going on.
They were like, literally all in horror films.
Doing their
Love it.
Yeah, they were doing their they really have all been in horror films. That's really cool. And so we have even Scooby. No, I'm just kidding. And so we have them doing their, like, you know, when they ask a question and then they have to give their little pageant answer, and she was supposed to save the world or something. How would you save the world, right? And I love how she's like saying she wants to save the world through her acting.
Yeah, and I was like, oh,
her thing to like entertain people or something like that. I thought it was hilarious.
I was like, oh,
because then it's also funny that it's like irony as well, and that's kind of like what was even more in Scream, but like she's an actress talking about wanting to be an actress.
Yeah.
To, like, inspire people or whatever. Little does she know she's in a horror movie at the moment.
Yep.
And so then, of course, she wins the pageant. At that point, I didn't know her name because I guess they had said it, but I didn't even really pay attention. I was
I didn't.
I just
didn't know
Sarah.
Any of theirs. Yeah, I didn't know any of their names, and so like I was
halfway through
putting like SMG, and then Jennifer Love Hewitt. Like I didn't know any of their names
because sometimes it's hard to like keep up with it.
Or they definitely did say Miss Helen Shivers.
I know, and stuff, right?
But I was like, huh?
Yeah, literally. I was too focused on like, and then because he's like, that's my girlfriend, and I immediately thought of Scary Movie when they're like, that's my girlfriend too. Oh, that's my girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
See, okay, that was the thing. I think I told you this was
you've seen Scary Movie, and they do a lot of spoofs off of that.
And so then, just like I got confused with Scream, I also get this film confused with Scary Movie.
Yeah,
a lot. And so I was like, have I actually seen this? No.
I'm sure that's a really big
consensus
with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so then that's the effect of the Marlon brothers, the Wayans brothers. So we have her winning. After that, there's a party. And I guess it's kind of like a beach
Jennifer Love Hewitt
party.
Looks so cute.
She does.
Here.
She looks all beachy. And
oh my God.
Has a little
loved it.
Light, cute sweater on. And was that like long jean or like a skirt she had on? Right?
Oh, yeah, I have no clue.
Anyways,
I just was, her face was so cute.
She is talking to
Max.
Max
right? Comes up to her and he's like, let me take you out. And
who is the dude from the Big Bang?
Yeah, I think so. He looks like that guy.
Or Jonathan Galecki, I think that's his name.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Big Bang Theory. It annoyed me.
I didn't really watch it that much either.
Yeah.
But I think that's him. And so anyways,
I immediately was like, Max is the killer.
We have him trying to pretty much he asks Julie out on a date before she's going away for college, and she declines. And then we have
because she has a fucking boyfriend.
Yeah, and then which doesn't make sense that he would, but he also gives like kind of creep vibes.
Yeah.
Maybe he just also is someone who is unaware or not self-aware.
Yeah.
And so anyways, we have then Ray and what's his name, Barry Barry coming up, and Barry like kind of cuts into the way, and he's wants to take a shot with everybody, and he obviously was trying to like
get
save
him
the
away
girls
from her,
get away from the girls, and then they have an altercation where What is he says something to Max, and then they like push each other or something,
Yeah.
and then it turns into a full out fight.
And then whenever Ray comes to break it up, he's like, "What? Sorry, I was just trying to protect your girl."
Right?
Yeah,
like you said, or something like
dick.
you
Yeah,
wanted.
he said like you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be going to Boston.
That's right.
Together,
Mm-hmm.
while the other two are going to New York.
That's right.
So I guess they both went to Harvard.
I don't know.
She definitely went to Harvard.
In Boston, right?
Yeah.
Then yes, they both did.
I was
and
like,
he got in probably with his money. Yeah.
Because he didn't seem too smart.
Definitely plays up the rich boy shtick.
Yeah. I wanted to punch him so many times, but also he was very cute.
He's very cute.
I
very
put
handsome.
At one point when he's in that after the gym, I put God bless the horror gods for these man titties.
And the like the abs.
Yeah.
Man.
I was like, okay, I get it.
Honestly.
I get it.
That's why all the girls were fangirling. That's why Reese Witherspoon married him.
Are they still married?
No.
Okay, good.
No, that did not last.
I was like, I did not actually know his name.
Ryan Phillippe. They met.
What else has he been in?
Well, he met her, Reese Witherspoon, on another movie that came out in the 90s with another chick. I don't remember the chick, but she's also another famous 90s actress. And they were like young. And it was basically him and Reese Witherspoon were like, I think they were half siblings or step siblings. And it was very Crimson Peak.
In the movie. Real life?
No, in the movie. No, in real life,
photo.
they're not. No, in the real life, they are not any blood relation. No, but they did get married. They had a kid or two, and then they got divorced later on. They think they made it for a while, but they're divorced now.
Is Reese Witherspoon?
I don't think she's remarried.
With her spoon, without her spoon.
Mm-hmm. Do we ever know?
Yeah, no, she wrote a book and came to Magnolia.
Oh, yeah.
And was there.
That's kind of the new move to do.
Yeah.
If you're a white lady.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore, too. I believe she did that as well.
What's her face and what's his face created that diaper company?
What is that?
The girl who played Anna.
Kristen Wiig. No, Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello,
please
Bello.
sponsor us.
I have to drive by that factory to get to the
because it's
school
here, right?
a lot.
They opened it up here. In Waco,
yeah,
right?
it's like literally 1 minute away from where I teach.
That is so fun
and
crazy
so
that it's here.
I drive down there. The factory's like stupid cute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so fun looking on the outside. I was like, oh, makes me want to buy your diapers.
I actually really like
the
them.
kittens.
I like them.
Oh yeah, no. If they ever split, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah,
because
come on, she's
I
Anna.
like them.
She's Anna.
Yeah. And The Good Place.
And The Good Place.
Literally at one point in here, it's in the scene where right after they leave Missy's house.
Yes.
And fucking what's her name? Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah. Heather.
Helen. Helen was in the car, and then she was like, we used to be best friends, but now we're not. And so I put, we used to be best buddies, but now we're not.
I remember the scene. Yes. We're in the car, and she's trying to tell her that. And Julie's just like, and Helen's like, I miss you. And she's like, whatever.
Yeah,
and she's just like, okay.
Brushes her off.
Oh, my God. Okay. So, yeah. So we have that party. They leave. They got out to the fight. And so they're like, let's go for a joyride. So they end up going on that winding road that we obviously saw from the beginning of the movie.
Where homeboy was sitting there drinking.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have, they're at this beach. They're now just kind of telling ghost stories. They're talking about all these urban legends.
And they can't come to an aggrement. Everyone's like, no, I heard it was this. I heard it was this.
Yeah.
And it was a dead body.
And it shows like just how many like how scary movies, or even just not even that beyond that, like where those like creations come from, like the urban legends and stories, like how it can get twisted through like one person's telling and then another person's telling.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's like a game of telephone.
And now a word from our sponsors.
And so we have then Sarah, I haven't Sarah, Heather, Helen. Oh,
Helen.
Helen is then like basically planning out her whole life with what's his face, Barry, and it's so like kind of cringe because she's like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this, and by
We're
the
gonna
time,
elope in Europe. And
yeah, and elope in Europe, and then we're
3
gonna
children.
live happily ever after.
She says you can impregnate me with our first of 3 children, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
yikes.
she's got it down.
He was gonna play for the Cowboys.
But then he was but she said what, the Steelers first?
The Steelers first, and he says the Cowboys,
Mhm.
and she was like, oh, and we were like, yeah, the Cowboys. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Like that. Oh, okay. There we go.
Yay.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you
Well, it's because I had just moved it. I had. Gotcha. Stuff I've never worked with mics before. Okay.
Nice.
All right. We're back at it.
But yeah, it was kind of cringy.
Yeah.
The whole plan. I mean, people do that though. People plan their.
They do. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. But it was just because the way she was kind of just talking about it just kind of gives like,
It was
of
just
like,
like, ugh.
obsessed girlfriend almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he clearly is a piece of shit. So.
Yeah, of course. He's not thinking about that. He's just thinking
No.
about doing it right there on the beach right then and now.
What
And-
he's just saying and agreeing to whatever he has to put his dick in her.
Literally. And so then we have the same thing kind of happening on the other side. We have Julie and Ray talking, and they're it's kind of a little bittersweet because they're going to be separating basically.
Yeah, she's going to Boston. He's going to NYC.
And I guess at
Which
this
is
point
like,
they're thinking
honestly
they're,
not that far.
it's really not.
apart.
And at this point too, it's going to be long distance. Like they're not talking about breaking up. They're just going to say they're saying how hard it's going to be.
Yeah.
Not to be with each other. And then he says whatever little cutesy line. What does he say to her?
Oh, I don't know, but all I know is that she then goes, "You're gonna fall in love with some shaved head, black wearing tattoo, like goth lady." And I was like, "Oh, damn, they just described me."
A face.
Pierced up, got like lady.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I've got lots of tattoos. I've shaved my head."
And now it's coming back.
It's true. It's getting there. It's
Still
getting there.
goth lady.
Little babies.
You
Little baby hairs.
encompass many kind of ladies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a chameleon.
And so
Camilla.
we have what is they had, I guess basically they have sex.
Yeah,
right?
she gives it up to him.
Yeah,
They're splitting.
that's okay. Okay, gotcha. I couldn't tell if it was just like, oh, we're just gonna make out hardcore, or
No.
we're actually doing it. All right,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
because
sure
then it
they
pans
had
away.
sex. Yeah.
And then we have them wanting to leave, and obviously they're not going to let Barry drive because he's pretty hammered.
Yeah.
But they're all pretty hammered. Well, I guess not Ray. He said he didn't drink as much, right?
Yeah.
Or he didn't drink.
They said he wasn't drinking.
That's right. And so they get into the car. They're
but
driving.
definitely Barry and Helen.
Yeah, are drunk.
Mhm.
And so, because they don't have a care in the world.
No.
And so, anyways,
She's a fucking princess. The
she
croak
just won her
princess.
crown. I don't know what
The
it
croak
was.
crown, I think is
Yeah.
what it is.
Something
It
like
was some
that.
fish festival.
Mhm.
Like they were all wearing fish on their head.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
This is a very heavy fishing town.
Yeah.
Like they are really in on it.
They are.
Like they love what they do.
They love fishing.
Literally, this is their main source of income.
Yeah,
This is
that's
literally
true.
what keeps their town booming.
Mm-hmm.
Not what's her face's shop, her sister's
Joanna
shop.
Gaines. Oh.
No,
I thought we were talking about Waco.
no, stop! You're gonna get us canceled.
Okay.
Okay, all right. And so Joanna comes
Just
in.
all weird.
Cancel
Joanna's
that.
head on their
Cancel
head.
that, boobies.
They fucking would.
Cancel them.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you ever speak bad about me and my
Hey,
chip.
no, I served her coffee once, and I was real nice to her because I pretended I didn't know who the fuck she was, and she seemed very glad by
Mm.
that. She looked
Oh.
so tired.
Oh,
She
poor
came through
thing.
the.
I bet
she
she's
came through the
tired.
drive-through. and
She's
she
running
was just
through.
Like, yeah.
She's got business
because
after
at that
business.
time she was writing her book. She was like working on.
She's
the
popping
last
out a
season.
seventh child.
Yeah, she was like
number 8
had
or
just
7.
Had
I don't know.
one of 800 children.
These people
and-
believe in having a lot of kids.
Like they were, I think they just closed on like the hotel or whatever
Mhm.
and stuff. And so like whenever she came through, I had to make small talk because that's like what we do. And I was like,
Yeah.
"So, how's your day
That's
going?"
cute. Yeah,
Like,
because
how
you
are
got
you?
to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like awkward.
Yeah,
I don't like when people don't like and like whatever when they don't talk to me. And it's just kind of like I'm like because then I
'Cause
find
if-
myself most of the time
close
being
the window if you're
I'm
gonna do that.
literally, and then I'm the one that's always like da 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 talking to how's your
Uh-huh.
day, and then sometimes
They
They'll
can't
like
hear
play
you.
along, but then other times no, they're just kind of like looking at me like kind of dumb faced.
Get the fuck out. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
she was like, I'm super tired. I was like, yeah, oh, I bet in my head. But I was like, oh no. I said, well, this coffee will help wake you right up.
also get you where you need to go.
Yeah, it was a
I
cheesy Starbucks line.
Put some vodka in it for you.
I put crack
I
in
put
it.
Baileys in it. Oh my god.
Do you ever drink Baileys from a shoe?
I put a roofie in it. No, just kidding.
No. We here at Boo Bays do not condemn roofing
Oh my god.
people,
And that
especially
was
Joanna K.
the night the lights went out in Texas. All right. So we have
What is happening?
we have all of the road. They're on the road and they're driving. They're going really fucking fast.
They are.
They're
and
zooming. They
is-
are on a windy road that already you could like just drive right off
Yes,
and
it's
die.
right on a cliff face. And
Literally.
It's like,
You don't see what's coming around the corner.
Yeah.
But then Barry as well, like you said, he's being an asshole.
He gets up
and
into
he
the
is
roof.
like trying, and he's like in the way. But even before that, he was like,
oh yeah, messing with the stereo.
because he's like, why do y'all have this like chicken shit on? Y'all should have some like rockin' music on.
It's the 90s. We only listen to grunge.
Literally, and it was so loud.
And R&B.
It was so loud. My
It
ears
was.
were actually like, oh no. Put it back on what it was on.
Yeah, because it was so like kind of like it fit the mood, especially with those two like making googly eyes or whatever, sweet eyes at each other. And then it was like, duh, 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 duh.
Yeah. And then lo and behold, of course, they hit a man.
Yeah, because homeboy's up in the sky roof and
He's
he
tunneling.
drops a whole bottle of liquor.
All over the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it
then
gets
he was like,
everywhere.
dude, you weren't looking where you were going when they hit the guy.
Because you dropped a bottle of Crown on me.
On his crotch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And shit's like going everywhere. Like I would be distracted too.
Yeah.
What I also want to know is how Barry's not dead after taking a human to the face.
Fucking literally just like mollywopped
I
him.
imagine it had to have like folded him over that car like
It really
know?
did, and I'm surprised that he didn't have any other like injuries because it was the other guy's blood.
Yeah.
Because he's got blood on him, but it's not his, as we find out when they get back in the car.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
I was
well,
also
it could've-
shocked at how quickly he knew it wasn't his.
Because
Because sometimes when
you don't know,
whenever my knee, like
yeah,
when I had that giant cut on it,
you're in shock, so you don't feel it.
I couldn't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, I very calmly, like, my hand went to my knee before I even knew anything was wrong because my body was like, but then it was like numbing it.
Yeah. Do you see? I was looking at it this morning. Do you see like this cut right here on my forehead or my scalp?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that was from a car accident, and I remember that one like, somehow cut my forehead. And this was from like not this last one, but the other one. And so, I remember too whenever because I got like impacted by the airbags, but I had glasses on, that's why. And so when my glasses were there, it somehow got up here by the impact of the airbag and cut me up. I'm sure that's like I'm thinking that's what it was, unless it was something else, and I just
That's
didn't
one of my
notice.
biggest
But the car
fears
was also kind of like
that can like
fucked up.
airbags can like
do
not
more
hurt
damage
you,
sometimes.
but if you're wearing glasses, it can like
Yeah.
break your whole nose.
Or I
stuff.
always think of Final Destination 2 when the airbag goes off and she goes back and gets impelled by the pole.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and I know that feeling of like
we should cover
I
those.
remember we should.
I love those movies.
Really do too. I didn't feel the pain, but I just remember blood like rushing. It was rushing down my face, and it was a feeling of like it was almost cold. It wasn't even warm. I just remember feeling like all this stuff trickling down my face, and I honestly thought it was water. And I was like, "Where's this water? Like, what? Where's this freak is water coming from?"
Spilling a bottle of water on my head.
Well, I'm in my car at this point because I can't get out because I'm trapped in on one side, so I have to go out through the other side. And so I'm like, where is this water coming from? And then I'm running to go help the other person that was in the other car. And then they're fine. And then they're looking at me because I'm like, are you okay? And they're like, I'm fine.
Bitch, are you okay?
Because I had blood like literally pooling all down like my face and my arms and my body.
Christ.
And then I didn't realize it until I looked down and I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding.
That's so scary.
Yeah. And then this was just kind of dangling there.
Ew.
And then I got cleaned up at home and then I went to work. It was a pretty crazy day.
You didn't go to the fucking hospital?
No, I
Josh.
never do. I decline. I say no, thank you. I don't need it. I'll figure it out on my own.
That ambulance ride is hella
It's pricey.
expensive. Yeah.
And I don't have insurance.
Fuck America's healthcare system.
Anyways.
Anyways, they've they find a boot first. Helen finds
the
a boot.
boot. Not the boot, because I love when Julie is just like in that scream.
A boot!
Literally, and she picks it up and it's just like dangling.
Yeah,
a little rubber boot.
It's a rubber boot.
Fisherman's
it's like a
boot.
rain boot kind of thing. Yeah, like a wading water kind of boot. And yeah, so it is very wiggly.
I laughed. I thought it was funny. But anyways, but it's very serious to Julie because she's freaking the F out.
Because she's like, fuck, we hit a person. And then they find the body and Julie gives another good blood curdling
Well, because
scream.
even too, the boys are trying to be like, it's not a person. It was probably a deer. It was probably a something. And she's like, nah.
Yeah, they said it was probably a dog first. And they were like, a dog wouldn't do that. And then they're like, okay, but a deer would.
And then she's like, well, then where's the deer? And they're like, well, it ran away. Which they do sometimes.
Yeah, that is common.
But
as we learned from Get Out.
But it was obviously, a human being.
Yeah.
Because we know where this movie is going.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyways, I'm like, they just hit a man. And so anyways, they are checking the pulse of this body because then they go around the corner. They go around the corner and then they see the body. And then they're telling Ray to go check the pulse. And he don't want to go near it.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't either.
And I guess, but I mean,
his face
technically
was
he was driving.
I wonder if a lot of it was from self-defense from...
Maybe from killing old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't see that. I honestly don't think that was I think that was probably like an easy kill to BH for him.
Probably. Because he was pretty drunk.
And we also see later this guy has no problem killing people.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
I mean, yeah, he's upset because his daughter's dead.
Yeah.
So and this one tricked me too. I mean, I was
the
like,
one with
it's
Max?
fucking Max. It's fucking Max. I'm so mad they didn't shove his head into the boiler. That would have been. That's what I was. Whenever he burnt his hand, I was like, "Oh yes, someone's gonna come behind him."
I could see that.
That would have been cool. And then whenever they got his head by the chin,
the hook, with
the hook, I was like, you should have just shoved his head in there and then dragged him off. That would have been even more cool.
Some deep fried head.
Yeah, I was a little bit mad that they didn't do that. Missed opportunity.
It
would have been really cool.
Honestly,
and it would have gave it like.
But save it for yourself.
Halloween 2.
For your own movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Halloween 2. When the hot tub scene.
Yeah.
That's a really good scene.
I want the skin to melt
That's a really
off.
good movie.
The body.
I really loved Halloween 2.
It was so good.
I liked it.
I was so excited
shout out to Halloween Kills coming out here in a few months.
Oh, fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go see it.
We are. Oh, and the new Purge. Not the new Purge. Oh, my God. No. New Orphan. Sorry. But it's going to be streaming.
Oh.
On Paramount. It's a prequel to the first Orphan. Have you heard of it?
No.
I'll send you a link of the stuff so you can look at it. They're really promoting it.
I do not apparently see any sort of advertisement for new horror films or any movies for that matter. I just
you have to go follow on your Instagram like A24 and like all this film.
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah,
their
Especially
pages,
A24.
and then in your like when you get what's it called? They throw shit at you and the algorithms that.
Oh yeah. Everything that my personal one shows me is literally only BTS and Haikyuu and then different underwear companies.
Yeah, I feel that.
Or leggings.
Mine's literally like RuPaul's Drag Race and like Gaga and like gay stuff and like fitness stuff because I'm always looking up fitness stuff.
Yeah.
And then the horror movies because I follow a lot of like horror movie accounts. And like movie what's it called? Studios. Sorry, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And so anyways,
a lot of studios. Not my personal anyways.
And so on your Finsta.
My Finsta.
And so anyways, we have
they should have called the fucking cops.
They should have called the cops. They're talking themselves out of not calling the cops. It was just an accident and it would have been perceived as an accident. But the thing is that homeboy had spilt that alcohol over the car.
Yeah.
And the cops would not believe that. Yeah,
but they
and
could
it is
have
his
taken
vehicle.
a breathalyzer test. I mean, yeah, there's no way to prove that he wasn't.
But also they're in trouble because
But he's covered in blood. And so they could have just been like, this motherfucker was being dumb as hell, had his head outside of the like top of the roof. And then like he got hit by this body. Clearly he's not hurt, but he's covered in this blood.
Yeah, but I still don't see that boding well. But also too, if any
I would
of
have
them,
tried.
But also too, Barry would have never went for it because he's a selfish like character. But out of any of them, if he would have and also made it more complicated because even though Ray was the one that was driving, it is Barry's car. And I'm sure for insurance purposes and all those things, like he should be the one that's driving it or otherwise you get like penalized for that and all that kind of shit. And so he literally is rich.
Yeah,
So
he could
he
buy his way
literally
out of
could
it.
have like gotten himself out of it probably, or served a little time
with the well, I guess that would.
And
make
if
it
they
more
would
of
have,
a town
and
move.
if it would have been, if they would have called the cops, the ambulances in the hospital would have found out that this man was still alive.
Yeah.
And he would have not have died, and it probably wouldn't have been manslaughter.
Exactly.
He probably would have made it because he ended up making it even after being drowned. Literally.
Yeah. This guy is.
He's pissed.
He's fucking
That's
Michael.
Rage.
Yeah. Just keeps living.
And so,
their acting in this scene was a little over the top, especially Freddie Prinze Jr.'s was
I don't
pretty
necessarily always believe Freddie Prinze Jr.'s acting, if that makes sense, though. Like, I wouldn't say he's like a really great, like.
Oh no, I've never once thought he was a great actor.
Yeah. So
except for playing Fred.
But I feel that. You know what? Let me not rag on the dude, but like, yeah, I can see what you mean.
Barry did a good job when he like kept like screaming.
Everyone else is good.
Julie's
I feel like
face.
even like Sarah Michelle Gellar, obviously good. Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's a good actress. I feel like.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
And
she was in that show Medium
one.
too. I remember I saw that kind of back in the day, a long time ago. She
Ghost
played a
Whisperer?
medium.
Ghost Whisperer?
Oh, was it Ghost Whisperer?
Yeah.
Who played Medium?
I think that was some blonde chick.
Oh, maybe. Maybe Ghost Whisperer is the show you're talking about.
Ghost Whisperer is that's the one where I fucking loved Ghost Whisperer.
I know I saw her in some paranormal type of show. That's probably it.
Yeah, she could talk to ghosts.
Yeah.
They'd always come up to her and she'd have to be like normal and stuff. Is it the medium?
Yeah. You're right. Is that blonde
It's
chick?
a blonde chick, right?
Yeah. I got that way like crossed. But anyways, back to the topic of hand of IKWIDLS.
Yes.
Yeah, they what happens? Yeah, that's right. They show the face. The face is all messed up because obviously they hit him. They're not calling the cops. They then
just plan to
decide
dump his body.
They decide that they're just going to dump his body. So they are dragging the body, but then Max is coming and driving up.
A fucking truck is driving up. Yeah. In a fucking course, it is Max.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and the way that he seemed to have so much more spine in this scene
than he did
prior is what really, really made me believe and lean into the fact that it was him.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Because he didn't get the girl.
He's a red herring for most of the movie until
he's dead.
Which
he dies rather
halfway
quickly.
Mm-hmm. He's the first one even before all that.
Yeah, and I don't really understand why he had to die.
I never understood that either.
Because I was
because he was there that night. Maybe he did know what he saw, but he wasn't the one killing them, and he just never talked about it, and that dude still wanted to take him out.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
But I feel like this guy had to be pretty unconscious at that point to like not even know that he was there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's poor Max. You know, justice for Max.
Justice for Max.
Because honestly, too, at the end of the day, he was just minding his own business, like working, trying to get shit done. So, anyways, they
This is where I finally learned all their names. This is where I have my note of who is who. But yeah, they're not doing shit right at all. The way they put this body into the trunk, leaving fuck tons of evidence, and then they go drag him down to the dock.
a whole different location.
Yeah. And his blood is everywhere.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like.
And even she's saying that like there's going to be traces that'll go back to them. And he's trying to say, well, by the time that they find the body, all of it will be washed away. And I'm just like, I don't know if that necessarily is how it works.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
There could still be things that they could find. A lot of it now, if the corpse really was to have been floating at sea and found 3 weeks later, as the news article suggested.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, the corpse would have been pretty bloated. But the salt would have preserved it?
I don't know.
I don't actually.
Let's ask a mortician and we'll get back to it.
But I feel like it would have washed any, like, say if there was something under the fingernails, something could have come and, like, I feel like it would have obstructed a lot of the evidence.
Or other things like eating at them and disintegration of the body. And so anyways, they're at this dock and they're about to dump the body. They pulled it all the way to the edge. And Ray is like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so then Barry is like, well, crap. Well, then Julie do it. And then Julie is not going to do it. So then Helen.
Because they wanted to pull out his wallet.
Oh,
and
that's
see
right.
At least who it was.
But Barry's not on board. It was really mainly Julie who wanted to do it. And of course, Ray's just that's his girlfriend. So he's gonna be like, let's do that. But anyways, Helen and Ray end up being the ones who are gonna push the body over, and then he ends up waking up and like freaking everybody out, and that's when they're just like literally just like kicking him over, right?
Yeah. Well, Barry starts like
hitting
going
him,
ham
right?
on his face,
yeah,
and then kicks him over, but not before he grabs her crown.
Takes the crown, and
the
she's
way
like,
that she's so worried about her fucking crown
he took
in
my
this
crown.
instant. I mean, I guess she did need to return it the next year.
Well, and also too would have been like evidence if it would have been found with the body.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
because she's the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like she was. That's the reason she was worried about it.
Unless if she could have just left it, and then if like something were to come up of it, she could be like, "Oh, that was stolen that night. I was at a beach party and I took it off for a minute, and when I came back to it, it was gone.
Yeah,
literally." Okay. Anyways, so that's whenever we have all that shit happening. Barry ends up diving back into the ocean, because he's gonna go after the freaking crown. And so he goes down there, and that's when we have a little scare of him going for the crown, and he's about to pull it away. And then the dude, again, who looks like he's unconscious, wakes up, eyes wide open, and Barry is just screaming. He ends up yanking the crown away, and he pulls up. He gets to the dock, and he's just like storming off, basically. And he is just like, we are never, ever going to like talk about this ever again.
He says this is now merely a future therapy bill.
Yes.
I loved it.
We are going to make a pact. And he's basically yelling at them to like say yes in agreement with him. And then basically
he's losing his shit.
Yeah.
The way that he like chokes Julie up against the car and is like, say it.
Yeah.
Like, fucking calm down, dude.
And well, yeah,
I mean, I guess
he's
y'all
freaking
did just
out.
kill some people.
And then we have then a little pan, and they show the little "I love you" thing. And
yeah,
then
that little locket thing
and
was
then
left behind.
We have an year later sequence thing happening.
And this is when I put, oh, she a Harvard bitch? Loved it. And then her friend is fucking savage. Comes in and is like,
"You're going
get your
home,
ghostly pasty ass corpse looking like motherfucking self out." And I was like, damn.
Literally, because she doesn't want to go back home. Rightfully understood. Like, she doesn't want to go back to this traumatic experience, because we already get from this interview she's not the same person she was whenever she was before this incident happened.
Because she was like literally glowing and so bubbly, and then now she had bags under her eyes.
Ghost.
Yeah, she just looked not.
She looks like she just saw death.
Yeah,
murder. She did months ago, but it's still lingering. And so she ends up. They go back. She gets her in the car. They're driving. She's going back home. And that's whenever she does get back home, her friend drops her off and she's like, okay, bye, have a good summer. See you when we go back to school.
Yeah.
And she's having dinner or lunch, something with her mom.
Yeah.
After they do their little, greetings. And her mom's just like, are you on drugs?
Yeah.
Because she's not responding. Julie does look like she does look like she's on drugs.
She's very spaced out.
Can I talk? She looks very spaced out, and she's not like really interacting with her mom, and she obviously looks dead, like we've been saying. And so then her mom's just like, well, I just needed some kind of reaction from you, because you're not basically giving me much. She's like asking her what's wrong, because then she pulls out, a report card essentially that she got, or a letter.
Yeah, she's like, oh, you got this in the mail. And she goes, it's not your report card. That came 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
Or something. And
but it was a letter from the dean saying like she was like, if she didn't pass her class or something, she would be put on what's it called?
I think
Suspension?
she was already on academic probation.
There you go. Yeah.
At this point. And so she picks up this letter. It's got no return address. And of course she opens it. And
as one does. Because it could have been anthrax.
Yeah.
Kidding me? Anyways. But that was before that whole scare.
That's true. But it says,
I know what you did last summer. Or IKWYDLS.
Damn it. WYDLS.
You gotta put the W in there.
I know you did last summer.
Literally. You gotta do it for W.
What if they did a spoof that was called I Know Who You Did Last Summer?
That's
trademark.
Literally. Before someone else does it.
Secrets.
That would be a really funny spoof. Like a comedy, right? Like almost like Scary Movie, but like I know how you that's good.
It could be rom-com.
And you could tie in a lot of newer scary movies with that, even like It Follows, because that follows that like ties into like
so funny.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, all right.
It was like who you have sex with. Love
basically.
it.
So yeah, we have after that, she's kind of annoyed. she is freaking out because she's like, Mom, who sent this letter? And the mom's like, well, you know as good as well as I do, because she doesn't know anything. And so that's whenever she's freaking out and she leaves and she's going
got
to
a really
go
bad poker face.
Oh,
too.
she does. Yeah. She wears everything on her face. All her emotions. So she's going to go see Helen, right? She goes to, did we ever get the name of the store?
Well, I think it was just their Shivers.
Oh,
something.
Oh,
it was
okay.
like a family store.
Little department store,
Yeah.
essentially. It was like a very little Dillard's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is really cute.
It was.
And so anyways, we have her going. She's like walks in, and that's whenever we have, what's her sister's name? Helen's sister? Elsa.
Fucking
Yeah.
Elsa.
She's like, oh, look what the cat dragged in.
Yeah.
And it's the way that throughout this whole movie, I didn't understand
Elsa's
why
a fucking bitch.
she treats her sister so horribly.
Probably because she was not as cute, even though she was
even
cute.
then, like, oh, what is that?
Oh, I Know Who You Did Last Summer already is a movie?
Oh, no.
God. Damn it. They stole our
really
ideas.
lost out on
I'm
that.
suing them.
They probably didn't do it as well as we could have executed.
Yeah, that looked poorly made.
That looked like, yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Anyways, well, that really threw me off. Hold on. No. Okay, but yes. No, it's okay. That was perfect. Man, because I was really excited about that idea actually for a whole minute there. And so anyways, we have her finally, she's talking to Elsa and she's asking for Helen's New York number. And that's whenever Elsa's like, New York number. Look at that bitch over there.
You find her 10 feet to your left at the fragrance department.
And then poor Helen's just like fucking stumbling with these freaking perfume bottles clinking together. Really looks like she's not doing too good at her job because honestly, she was born to act.
She was.
And this is not her gig.
She was not born to spray fragrance on people.
Maybe in a commercial, but not for realsies.
Yeah.
And so, she goes up to her, and then Helen's like, Helen actually kind of looks very happy to see her. She's like, oh, hi.
She's like, oh, thank God you're here.
Yeah. And that's whenever immediately, like, not even like, how you been? How's like, it's just like, well, I guess she's like, New York didn't work out for me, right?
Yeah.
She's like, I thought you went to New York. But then very soon she's just like, look what I got. And it's like, I know what you did last summer. And she's like, well, who sent it? And they're like, I don't know. And so
then they go to see Barry.
Barry immediately, and they drive up to that house. And then she
Barry yells down like, or I guess whenever they get up there, he's just like,
he says something to him.
He said like, both of you look like
shit,
death, like rolled over twice or whatever. And I was like, why are they hating? Like everyone is hating on two of the fucking hottest babes of the fucking 90s. Like, no.
Just proves it gets to anybody. And so anyways, we have them then showing the note to him, and he's just like, not taking it seriously, I would say.
Yeah, basically like anyone could have done that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why is no one putting it together that it was fucking Max? And then he goes, wait, Max was there. And I was like, oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Immediately.
Okay.
And also we have, I have in my notes, because I'm like, where's Ray? And I think they even ask at that point, they're like, where's Ray?
Yeah.
And nobody knows at this point where he is.
Yeah, because she was like, we broke up. I haven't talked to him since last time. Cute.
Yeah. And so they go to the docks to go see Max. And that's whenever freaking, of course, Barry is like, I got it. I'll handle it. And he's got
some fucking anger issues.
He's got some nerve is what he's got. And so the way that I can't even do this. And so the gumption, the audacity, the nerve. And so he goes in, he's like, goes to see Max, and Max is just like, oh, look at you. And then he's like, can I talk to you privately? And he's like, oh, is this not private enough for you? So they end up going to like a whole little private area.
Ice room
Where all the big old ice blocks are. And which also reminds me of Frozen. But anyways, they get to talking, but not really, because then Barry just like slams him against the ice and is just like, or is it the ice or that boiler thing?
No, it was the
ice, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, stop whatever you're doing, and if you don't stop, I will kill you.
Yeah.
And just basically threatens
he grabs
the
the fucking hook.
With the hook. And he's just threatening him.
So I'm sure Max, whenever he got murdered, thought it was Barry.
Oh, that's true.
Probably, because it was the hook.
Because he was still there alive for a minute, just kind of bleeding out. Like gurgling. Gurgle. Squelch. Squelch. Is that how you say it? Say it again.
Squelch.
No, like how you said it.
I don't know what I did.
Squelch. I can't do it. I liked it. And so anyways, we have then what happened? Oh yeah, he comes back out, and then the girls are like, "What happened?" Like, and he's just like, "I handle it." And then immediately they see Ray, and he's on he's coming off of one of the. No, he's not on one of the boats.
Yeah, he's coming off one of
the boats, right? But then it's not the boat that he works on, because then he points to them. He's like, "Oh yeah, I work on that one over there."
Yeah, down at the end of the dock or something.
And so yeah, they obviously none of them they don't keep up with each other, so they didn't know he was there. And I guess he's just been working there the whole time.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I guess even Helen didn't even know, because Helen's been there.
Yeah.
Or she came back a while ago at some point is what it gives.
Yeah.
Because I guess New York worked out for like 2 months probably, and then she came back.
Yeah, I guess so. And they just really didn't talk.
And so, yeah, we have them kind of going over the freaking note, right? And that's whenever they kind of or Barry accuses Ray at that point.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what do you say? You've been
Where
gone.
Where the fuck have you been?
Yeah, that's right.
This whole time kind of thing. You're still here.
And I think, I really loved Helen's look. Like the outfit
that outfit there, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was
with
really
the little
awesome.
arm cuff and stuff.
I specifically wrote it down. And then Ray like wants to talk to Julie. And so then Helen's just like, okay. Like the way she's just standing there and just goes. And then they have a talk. And then that's whenever she's like, I don't blame you for what happened, but I also don't want to know you. Which is such a it was such a deep cut. I even felt it.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I was like, that's ice cold.
I put damn too. And I had a little hand clap emoji.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
I put, damn, Julie is really fucked up over this. And so anyways, then we get a pan to like the hook going missing, right? Because Max is back working.
Yeah.
And the
Max
hook goes
is
missing.
like carrying a thing of fish, a little cage of fish past, and we see the hooks missing.
Yeah. And then obviously Max gets murdered, because then it's really cool.
Gets his little hand. He goes, and I was like, ooh, Max is going to get his head boiled.
And then the murderer pulls up a big old hookity hook and just like rams it into his like jaw area. Yeah. And then drags him, which has to be so painful as well.
Oh, yeah.
Drags him over the boiler
like
and then takes him away. Yeah. Essentially like a fish on a hook. And so that reminds me of Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Which, shout out, R.I.P. Pat Carroll. She just passed away.
Yeah.
Played Ursula. She doesn't know it, but she really influenced my childhood.
She's here listening.
Flashback
today.
to me singing Poor Unfortunate Souls. Like,
that's my favorite.
It's so good. The theatrics.
What's the fish one that you love?
Oh, Le Poisson, he he ho ho ho. Yeah, that's a Chef Louis song.
Yeah,
anyways,
I love that one.
Okay. So, anyways, we have her. The Max is that whole spiel is done. Max is no longer the murderer. Max is no longer on the table. So now we're just like, who the crap is doing this? And so, and I'm like, Max got murdered and he like didn't even do anything.
Yeah. I was like, damn, guess it wasn't Max. But yeah, why the fuck was he murdered?
And then
he had nothing to do with this.
And then next, this is where we get to scene where you got your, you really got a good show. We see Barry at the gym.
Yeah, Barry's bitch ass turned to die, and then I was like, oh, but he is pretty damn cute though. And I said, thanks for the man titties, horror gods.
We get a whole scene of him working out, and then he gets a little shower, and then the whole time
I like how there were no woman titties shown in this.
No, yeah, you're right, just men.
Only men titties.
Good. And then also too, why is everything like the style of it is like, why is it all on the docks, and why is everything like a fishing like style? Like there were literally like where there were like partitions into other rooms. It's like,
oh yeah,
like walk-in refrigerator shit. Like things draping down.
Not tinfoil.
It's like plastic.
Aluminum.
It's like plastic. Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Like for the showers?
Well, no.
Oh,
like,
I was like,
even
that like a
where the rooms were
ceiling.
connecting to like other rooms, it was like that thing that's in like walk-in refrigerators.
Oh
and, like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like the one that's like cut into strips.
Yes.
And you can walk through.
Yeah. To keep like the temperature the same. But anyways, the whole time that he's working out and taking a shower, you hear like there's someone else in the gym with him, but he can't he's saying hello, but nobody's responding.
Yeah.
And then whenever he gets back to his locker, he sees that there's a little like something on it, right?
Yeah, it's a Polaroid.
And it's of his car. And it's like, I know. And he's obviously freaking out. And so then he goes and asks the dude up front, where was this dude at? And how did he not see someone else?
Exactly. How did this, I mean, I guess maybe there's a back door.
Anyways,
somewhere.
There's someone at the front desk and he's like, hey, who else is in there? He's like, it's just you and me, buddy. And then his car turns on and then he runs out to like go chase whoever's in the car. And so we have him chasing him down the street, and then the dude stops and then turns on this light, flashes it at him. And then he's just kind of like, what are you going to do? Run me over or whatever? And then,
I was like, yeah, run him over. Run
literally,
him over.
he starts gunning for it, and he's chasing him down. And so he starts like going serpentine.
Serpentine.
Literally. And I can only imagine at this point, like, what's going on in his head. One, he's like running for his life. One, I'm sure he's thinking like, man, how do I like navigate this to where this person also like puts the least amount of damage on my vehicle?
Yeah.
And then like, cause it's his own car.
Yeah.
And then, that's just crazy. It ends up getting like backed up onto like this wall partition thing. That's not really a wall.
He really should have like tried. I feel like he could have avoided it if he jumped up instead of to the right.
Yeah.
And so I was
honestly,
like, what are you doing, bud?
I don't understand when the dude was coming for him, why he didn't like, me dying because I think that I can jump on top of a moving vehicle
and run over it and not like trip like one of those dogs on a fucking treadmill.
Oh no. I would be like the dogs that try to jump on a sofa and like I barely miss it and then get literally
I always
ran
laugh
over.
So much.
Oh, they're so cute.
So
and so he ends up getting like flung because he gets hit by the car and flung like through this like hay bales and whatever. Not even hay bales. I don't know what it is. It's like
it looked like just like
wood,
plywood. Yeah, I think it was the wreckage from it being plowed through whatever walls that was.
I guess because it led to like I don't know. It just looked like it was just more dock area. I don't know. It's a very
what if it was
village.
A pile of fish nets? I don't know.
That was a play on words, was it not? Fish nets.
Yeah, like the leggings.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What if it was only just a pile of pantyhose of fishnet stockings?
They're from Helen and Elsa's store. And so then we have them literally him just laying there and basically saying like, I'm sorry. And then there's a really big opportunity for him to have died at that point. But
because
he's about to die.
At this point, I was like, it's Freddy. But then I also put, damn, didn't even show his death.
You know, honestly,
and then I was like,
I kind of might have even liked the plot point better if
it fucking was
if
Freddy.
it would have been Freddy at the end.
Yeah.
Because
with the Billy Blue thing, I was like, oh, fucking that's him. Yeah.
That really was just like a big.
And I was like, oh.
No. And so anyways, we have
I don't like this vengeful dad.
Do it. Yeah. It's such
because it also had no reason to do with him. Like, I mean, yeah, they hit you with a car, but.
And even, I felt like, he was so vengeful about what happened to his daughter to that one dude. And then at this point when they hit him, I feel like this dude just has really big anger management issues probably. And so, and who is just, I don't even know. Because that gives at that point too, after the murder of that dude, maybe he was trying to kill himself, get himself killed. Because then he's just like, well, my Susie's dead. I killed finally the dude who did it. I'm just gonna let something take myself out on the same road that my Susie was like taken out.
Yeah, so we'll haunt it together.
Literally, I don't know, something like that. But anyways, we have. I think I failed to mention earlier that Julie brought up David Egan at a certain point.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because she's like, that's the guy of the person. This is the guy who we killed. It's David Egan. I looked it up. 3 weeks later or something, they found the body.
And it was in the papers.
Yeah.
He washed up on
all the stuff, and she looked it up.
They called it an accidental drowning, except it wasn't accidental at all.
It was not. It was no accident anywhere in sight. And so anyways, we're back at the hospital. Not back at the hospital. We get to a hospital because Barry didn't die. And he's there, and Helen, Freddie, Ray, and Julie are all there to see him. And he basically then again once again tries to pin it on Ray.
He's like, "You have a slicker."
Yeah. And then we have them all kind of fighting.
Fun. I was so excited for it to be Freddie.
And then obviously the girls are like, "Let's not do this." So then they come up with a plan that the girls are gonna go see Missy, who is David Egan's sister, and the boys.
Which those pictures looked really sus in their home of her and David.
I thought that too
because they were like
they gave lover vibes,
faces, and I was like,
it gave lover vibes. It gave incest,
but it also was
and where they live as well in the backwoods.
Yeah, and with the like all the corpses, animal corpses, I was like, this could have had major Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, or Hills Have Eyes. So then we do got incest.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things that they're pulling from, I feel like. Maybe not specific, like not on purpose, but coincidentally. Yeah.
I think dead animal corpses makes anyone uncomfortable,
Probably.
when you walk up on a scary house that no one's answering.
That's true.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would just be uncomfortable if I saw dead animals.
Especially if they look like they were filleted by the people who live there.
Mm-hmm.
Like butchered. Like hung up.
She
Anyway,
had a fucking random turkey. Like, what was his Thanksgiving decoration? Take that shit down, bitch.
it's backwoods. That's what they do over there.
July
what else do they
4th,
do? They
hang
don't.
your turkeys.
They don't watch TV. They hunt, and they like
They hunt.
they do what's that called? A taxidermy.
Mm-hmm.
And so
There's a country song, hunting and fishing and loving every day. That's the way that a country boy is made.
really,
Yeah, I only know it because of Spice.
I can see that. Yeah. And so we have they think they can talk to the sister.
Mm-hmm.
They go, but
Her house was so fucking cute.
that's right. Oh yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
wanted it. I was
It's like a farmy house type of style. It looks like a haunted house, tbh.
Yeah,
It's a
look at
very
it.
big house for just her. And
Oh yeah, way too
anyways,
big.
they end up knocking on the door. Helen's like, okay, nobody's here, let's go. And so they end up Julie's like snooping around trying to look inside of it.
She's gonna fucking break it in, or
Yeah, because even Helen's like, oh yeah, let's add breaking and entering to our list of crimes.
they went to the library too, and they were like
they
looking
looked it
up
up.
on the internet. And they saw that he was survived by his sister and mother after 2 years ago that there was this murder or an accident.
Yeah. So
traffic
2
accident.
years prior on July 4th, he what's his name? David and Julie were on that road or driving on the road. I don't know. Somehow
David and Susie.
David and Susie were on that road, and somehow there was an accident. I don't know, but she ended up dying. She was murdered. Well, not murdered, but she was killed.
She died in a car accident.
She dead. She's no longer with us.
So
then the
everyone
year
blamed
later,
him.
which was the year that they ended up hitting the guy, whoever that may be at this point, because we don't know. Well, they think they know, but it's
David Egan.
Yeah, who they think is David Egan. Ended up dying on that night, and so this is a whole year later, where it's now leading up to another third July 4th. So everything is culminating to July 4th, because that is the day originally when Susie died. Sorry,
Happy birthday, America!
Yeah. It's a great birthday present. Here is your murdered ex
Your
lover.
ritualistic murder.
And here are these people who
is
you
just
never knew.
cabin in the
And
woods.
here's these people who you don't even know. I just murdered them for you.
Yep.
My throat is getting really dry. Sorry. And so, anyways, Missy pops up.
And she was like, "Can I help y'all?" And then they were like, "Oh, our car broke down and we need to use your phone."
Very bad
and
lie.
They gave them fake names, and she's like, "Jody, will you go call AAA?"
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Okay, Angela."
The way that was so out of place, too.
Yeah, make a very like prominent way. I would have just been like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. My car broke down. My name is Angela. And this is my friend Jody. We were just wondering if we could use your phone."
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Because you always introduce with the name. Because when you lead with the name, people feel more comfortable. I don't know if it's your real name or not, but just lead with the name.
You say it with conviction? Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, while Jody, aka
Helen,
is calling AAA, basically, Angela Julie
is talking to Missy.
Talking to Missy, and she sees the slicker hanging up. Oh wait,
that was
Jody
Helen.
Helen runs into the slicker.
Jody Helen Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Full name.
Yeah.
You can find her on
She runs
IMDb.
into the slicker and freaks out, and I'm sure Missy was just like, "Well, what the hell was that about?"
We got them everywhere.
Yeah.
She was real fidgety.
She was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really coinkadinkly. So the actress, her name is what is her name?
Helen Michelle Gellar.
No. The girl who's playing Missy. She was just in a car accident like a day ago.
Oh.
And
she did?
No, she's in the hospital right now.
Okay. Why are
she's
people-
got like really bad burns and stuff caught on fire.
It's
Yeah.
sad.
Her name is Lord.
Here, I'll look up the cast. I got it right here.
Her name is Anne Heche.
Anne Heche.
Yeah, Anne Heche. I got it right here. Anne Heche. Yeah, she was just in a car accident like a day ago or two, and this happened on the same.
Burned in a fiery car crash.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's severely burned right now. But it's
Damn.
funny because I'm just like,
Is that?
oh, it's not funny. I'm so sorry. No, I'm so sorry. No, this is not funny at all. I just mean like ironic because we're covering this movie and I'm like, wow, this week she just happened to get into a car accident.
Oh, she was in the 1998 Psycho.
Mm-hmm. She was.
Cool.
And I only came upon this last night because of Twitter, and there's a video of her driving like down a street before the car crash happened, and she's like blazing fast, like down this neighborhood street. Like it's like a second that her car's like in the frame. Yeah, literally. And there's suspicion that she was drinking. So yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, though,
sorry.
she's real fidgety, and basically as they're discussing things, Helen comes back, and she was like, I really remember
him having this
friend. What was his name?
Being very vague.
Yeah. Trying to get
more information.
Yeah, Missy to fess up or like give information, not fess up.
To allude like she knows something, but she doesn't really know anything. And she's trying to make it seem like she does. That way Missy will like be like, oh yeah, you know, that guy.
And then basically she says, I didn't really know many of his friends, but there was this one person who came by after his death, and his name
was Billy Blue.
Billy Blue.
Blue, yeah.
She said he was sweet on me and stuff for a few seconds, but then it quickly went away, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, in that moment, I was like, that's Freddie.
Yeah.
That's fucking Freddie.
Oh, you thought already?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, and then once I found out about Susie, I was like, oh my God, Freddie is Susie's brother. And this is all a revenge plot for Susie.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I was ready for it.
Because
and
he also
was a double tag team.
Because
with
even remember later on in the movie, whenever Barry's really being mean to Ray, and he's just like, "You wanted to be a part of our group. You're not like one of us, and you never like." Because at a certain point, I guess they weren't all like friends, and Ray joined, and I guess because he's
they
like
were rich
poor,
and
basically.
Ray was poor.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, and so then we have, I don't know why I keep saying anyways. That's like my new word of the day. Segue. Segue. I'm going to replace it with that.
Sesame Street.
And so segue, the way I wanted to say it immediately.
Any segues?
we have all this information that we get from Missy, and then the girls are just like, okay, we got to go.
Yeah,
basically.
Because they're
Julie
getting
freaks
hit
out
with a real big pang of guilt.
Yeah.
And they get back to the car, and she's like, we killed a man and ruined the lives of everyone he knew. And then all of a sudden, fucking super aggressive as hell, she's like, hey!
Yeah,
fucking slams on the window, and it's Missy saying, you left your cigarettes. And it's like, fucking,
you're doing her voice perfectly.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, why?
And then she's like, you got this car started.
Yeah.
I see you got this car started. And then Julie's like, funny how those works.
Yeah.
And then Julie's like taking off while her arm is still on the vehicle.
I was like, bitch, you could have ran her over.
Her feet, literally. And this would have been like another crime that they would have had to add. The way they have to keep covering up their own crimes.
Yep.
Because that's what happens when you guys, when you commit one crime,
you do more.
You're going to commit more because you're going to try to hide that first crime, and you can't commit a crime without committing other crimes.
It's like when a little white lie turns into something gigantic.
Lies, yeah. Literally.
It's true.
So anyways, segue. The killer walks in. What do I have? Oh yeah, because after all of that had happened, we get Helen like walking in. Oh no, is that the point where they get that little awkward conversation, right?
I put his girlfriend. Okay, yes, it is.
Yeah,
I was like, my next note was his girlfriend got killed on that road 1 year prior. So saying he felt. Oh yeah, because Helen was saying like
all this information.
He probably felt guilty because his girlfriend got killed on that road like 1 year prior, and everyone was blaming him for it. So it was probably a suicide. And then Julie's like, whatever you need to sleep at, like whatever you need to tell yourself sleep at night. And then that's when she says, we used to be best friends. And
what happened?
Now we're not.
Yeah.
Like what happened to us? And so I was like,
we murdered someone. Like, and that traumatized me is basically what Julie is implying.
That's exactly
without saying a lot of words.
What happened with Elsa and Anna, because Elsa blamed herself for her parents' death.
Oh, that's true. You're right. And they got really far.
This was Frozen before Frozen happened.
But
I'm pretty sure
really
this
close.
is a conspiracy theory we can.
This was like the inspiration.
Yeah,
the juices
ice
that really got
kept
it
all
going.
the fish cold, made by Elsa,
this is
who was her sister.
This is literally the same movie, but just like made for children. They like took it all out. Oh, anyways, okay. And Hans is Barry. Anyways, but not. It's Ray because he was poor, and he wanted to get rich. Oh, it's all fitting. Okay, I'm sorry. So we have Helen then after this little
Daphne was
awkward,
a queen.
She
was the croak queen, and they lived in a port city.
Oh, there's a lot of parallels. I think we cracked the code. I think the
government's going to come after us.
Someone a lot of money.
Yeah, this is the best
They're
conspiracy
like, you can't
theory
take down Frozen, literally, because Frozen provides like jobs for thousands of people.
Yeah. Oh, I rode the Frozen ride at Disney World.
I love that.
It was
it
actually
fun?
really
What
good.
happens?
Yeah, I loved it.
Was it like a
It was super real
roller coaster?
animatronics. Yeah, and it was a water ride.
Oh,
And there's one
like
point
Splash Mountain?
Yeah, where you go backwards and then there's
It's
singing.
a water ride?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I want to go do it. I
It
love
was
water
like
rides.
very minimal water. But
But like
it was
over
fun.
regular roller coasters, I will do like a water coaster or like water ride kind of things. I just don't like roller coasters.
Oh, I love
I
roller
know
coasters.
you do. I can't do it. I get motion
That's fair.
sickness very easy.
Oh,
Even like
this
watching
one was
movies.
super fun, and it was very like you're just watching them sing.
I honestly get motion
sure you do.
sickness whenever I am driving and I turn my head too fast to look at like my blind spot, and I turn back and I will literally get motion sickness
That's why
from
you're
just
in
that.
accidents a lot because you can't check your blind
Because
spot.
I'm like literally
Good thing
driving and getting what's it called?
whiplash.
Vertigo as I'm
Vertigo?
driving.
Good thing your car has blind spot detection.
It does.
Shout out to that Mazda because it was
That-
really nice, smooth ride when I drove it up to Dallas at one time. to pick you up.
That was literally I was only looking for cars that had safety features because before I never had them, and now that I've had them, this is the only reason why I'm still alive. Honestly, I've heard that thing so many times, and it keeps me in check. And I'm like, okay, yeah, got it.
Anyways, she gets home. Fucking Daphne does, and Helen.
Mm-hmm.
She gets home, and
Walks
we see
by her dad. Her dad's watching the sports, right?
Yeah, and he ignores her.
Yeah, because he's so into his sports. But it's the way.
feel like it's because she's a failure. Because the way that Elsa is like, well, Daddy left me in charge of the store.
But if you think about it too, homeboy walks in and he doesn't pay attention to that.
That's true.
I think he's literally just so oblivious that he's not paying attention to anything.
Yeah. Sitting there drinking.
Because then we see that after Helen walks in and she goes and enjoy herself a little Diet Coke or whatever it is, the killer walks in, literally through the front door, has to walk right by the dad.
Walks right up
because
the
we
stairs.
saw the layout just a minute ago.
Yeah, we saw a shadow move.
And goes up the stairs. And then we see as she's about to come back and circle and go back to what is her room, he walks into what we would obviously assume, because this is how her horror movies work, is her room. So we know that he's already in there.
And I like the soundtrack because it was really building up there.
Yeah.
And then it led to nothing.
Yeah, because
I love a good fake out. We all know this.
Because he goes in there. He's in there the whole time. We see like a little shot of the closet, like, oh, we know he's in the closet.
That
and
gave me
then
very
Elsa
Scream
walks in.
4.
And then Elsa walks in.
Yes.
And then she's like obviously being just like a really crude person to her. She's being really mean for no reason.
Bitch, you get off your fucking high horse.
Yeah, because she's like, you need to be there at 10 tomorrow at work because we're doing inventory. And then Helen's like, well, I have to be in the parade because everybody has to be in the parade.
It's out of my control.
It's not. Yeah. And she's like,
well,
I run the store.
me in charge of the store.
And I say you have to be there at 10.
Yeah.
That just gives very like power, like what is it? Like she's very like when people like are empowered by their power.
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
On her high horse.
Yeah.
Fucking self-righteous.
Well, not even that. It's just like because she had the authority over her in that moment,
bitch.
she could like the leverage of it. She was holding that over her. She was just like, I can't think of
manipulative.
The word. I don't know.
Toxic.
It's all of the above. And so, anyways, she then walks out, and it's the end of the night. She goes to bed. Nothing even really essentially happens. We do have a shot of Helen like kind of admiring her crown. She has to give it up the next day. And then the next morning we wake up and her crown is on.
Nothing had happened like before. And I was like, ew, he stayed in her closet all night. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
And then, but she wakes up with, and I was like, why the fuck is she sleeping with her crown on her head? And then I was like, wait, she didn't go to bed with her crown on her head.
And then we realized very quickly that the crown was put on her head. But not only that, she props up because she's feeling her hair. And he has cut her hair.
Patch Kid.
And the most choppiest of cuts. Yeah.
But
and
then
obviously
it looks remarkably good later.
But then it does, right?
A wig?
Because even right before this, Elsa was like ragging on her because Helen was in the mirror combing, brushing her hair. And Elsa is like, you and your hair. And you can obviously tell, and it's built up, that Helen holds a lot of pride in how beautiful she keeps her hair.
Yeah.
And so
because earlier in the story,
off.
she was saying the updo is everything.
Yeah.
Your hair is everything. When you're a big shot lawyer talking to Julie right after she got the crown, she was like, your hair is everything.
Yeah. And then she gets it all chopped off. Poor thing. That's really traumatizing. And so she's like screaming.
And
obviously,
then the mirror says soon.
Yeah, and the way she punches the mirror and just starts screaming.
I was like, why are you punching
There's no
the mirror?
point, but it's just so hilarious because it's really over dramatic.
It was.
So we have her going to the Right to the parade. At this point,
Well, so at
that's
this
when
point,
Julie comes over and she parks in the lawn as if this is not someone's home. I was like, why is she parking on these people's lawn?
I feel like that's kind of
what they
common.
just did.
Yeah, I've parked on people's lawns before. That was where they would be like, park here. And I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, I can get that, but I mean, like, it felt just like even it was literally like side of the road, like lawn. Like I felt like usually it's adjacent to like a driveway, but it's just is not enough, and you park next to it, and then it's the lawn. She like literally just drove off the road and onto their lawn.
Well, she was very panicked because she got the call from her before. The way that the shot panned down from the top stairs and Julie coming out, it was all one shot. That was really good.
Yeah, I like that too.
But as she was driving, also she was hearing that rattling coming from her back seat, and it was like, and that hat was there, or the trunk coming from the back of the car, and then her hat that she wore like whenever she first came in to town was in the back seat, which is important because then it's gone and later shows up in the boat. But yeah, fuck that rattling. I was like, no, that's creepy.
Yeah.
And when she opens the fucking trunk with Max's body covered in the crabs,
that was a lot. And also
how did he get that gone?
Amount? Yeah. Whenever she comes back.
Yeah.
Because I'd also have to like, well, I don't know. Because they couldn't have been gone that long. She couldn't have been gone that long. Because
I was like, is she going crazy?
Because she ends up, she sees Max in the trunk. There's a lot of crabs. There's so many crabs. He's dead. She freaks out. Crabs. She goes and she walks to get into, Helen's house. She sees upstairs that she's already with Barry. And then we're just like, okay, we're walking back to the car. Only a scene later because nothing even really gets mentioned.
Yeah.
And then by the time we get back, everything cleaned up and gone. There's nothing but like all regular things that you would find in a trunk, like things you need, like a crowbar or whatever and stuff.
I mean, I guess if you're like a killer or someone who guts fish regularly, maybe you've got some tarps.
But they were a lot. Well, I guess like there's just so much. And also too, if that's happening, are there not? This is a neighborhood, and also there's a lot of times in this movie where I thought, where's everybody at? Because like
they're all at the docks fishing.
Like
apparently.
the time that Barry was at the gym and he was down that street, like on Main Street, it seemed like it would have been downtown. Like, where is everybody?
I mean, that was where they had the parade.
Yeah, and then after that, like whenever Helen is running away and before she gets murdered, I'm just like, where's everybody at? And then we realize they're at the parade kind of thing. But even then, I'm just like, there's no way. Even for how small a town that like there's not some other not some other people walking around or hanging out that just aren't participating,
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, in a perfect world, we have then her they're all like, wait, if you said there was body here but there's not, and she's like, I know there was there, and then that's whenever Helen's like, I believe you.
Yeah,
because
Barry's
not
being
believing
like
her.
a fucking dick. He's being so insensitive. Because then that's when Ray shows up and he's trying to stop them.
Yeah,
or like he's just like, oh, well, I got a letter too, kind of thing. Blah blah blah. And he's talking about it,
and that's whenever they're trying to figure out like, what does this person want? Because obviously like he only cut up Helen's hair. This is happening, and then that's whenever Julie is like, well, he's just doing all this to mess with us. He's just trying to really like rile us up.
Yeah.
And that's whenever she goes into the street and she starts spinning and she's like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? I thought it was just the most hilarious thing in the world because I'm just like, because it's like literally, what are you waiting for? Spins. What are you waiting for? And I'm sure all of her friends are just like, Julie is losing it.
She's lost it.
Yeah.
But then at one point they're basically like, they said, yeah, he was class of 92. And then that's when they were like, Elsa is a class of 92. And they go in to look and stuff. And then Ray's basically like trying to stop them from going back to Missy.
Yeah.
And because they already knew the name Billy Blue. And he was like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
And then it's at this point he's seeming very suspicious.
A little shady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point I was like, he's the best friend of Billy because it was Susie's fucking brother. That was what I believed.
And
it was wrong.
Your theory could have been right though if they would have went along with that plot.
It would have been a better plot.
There's a lot of strings there to tie in, and it would have been easy. And so then we have them coming up with the idea of them splitting up again. Helen and Barry are going to the parade, and then we have Julie going back to see Missy. Did we ever figure out what Ray was going to do?
No, I think they were just like, don't
fuck
do
Ray.
Anything. Yeah,
yeah, because they didn't trust him at that point.
Yeah.
And so then we have him going out of the scene. Julie goes to see Oh yeah, no. Before that, we have Barry and Helen at the parade, and that's whenever Helen points out, "I was like Barry,"
He's
and
over
then
there.
Barry just goes and just like tackles this old man.
Straight up football.
Literally, he's just attacking anybody at this point.
At that point, also, like right as it went to it, they showed a color guard.
Ah,
And I was like,
shout
"Aw."
out color guard.
And I was like, they're at right shoulder.
Mhm.
Their outfits are terrible.
Oh
but
God,
it was really fun.
there are some color guard outfits that are like camp. It's pure camp.
Yeah,
it's campy. And so, anyways, we have them. After that, Julie is going to go see Missy, and then we learn kind of some other things of just like Julie is in like, no, it was a suicide.
Yeah.
Because Missy says, yeah, it was a suicide because Julie's trying to say, like, we know what happened the night. Your brother was murdered. This is that. We ran over him. She's like, no, he left a note.
Yeah.
And then that's when we see the note. And it said,
same fucking font.
Yeah, same font. And
I will never forget.
I will never forget last summer. And that's when we realized this is not a suicide note. This is a threat note. And this is the same thing that is happening to these teenagers. Because
she
had
also
happened to David.
Yeah. And she had also said, well, he had a tattoo on his arm that said Susie. And she was like, what the fuck are you talking about? David never had a tattoo.
Yeah.
And she was like, get out of my house. Get out of my house. And then
because she's like, what is this like, all for? Who are you? Because obviously Julie's not being honest with anything.
Yeah. And then so that's what it was like, wait, fuck, it wasn't David.
It wasn't David. It was his dad.
It was Susie's
dad. Yeah. There we go.
And then I was like, oh, well, they are just going based off the report. They never did actually successfully check his wallet because he woke up right as Helen was trying to
dump him over. Oh, yeah, that. And so, yeah, he was already getting threatened by them. This was a pretty big revealing plot point for the movie because that's when we really feel like we're like, oh, okay, we know who it is.
Yeah.
But then even still, you go a little bit more and we get that little Billy Blue spiel. And then we're like, oh, wait, no, it is Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Right. But anyways, we have all that shit going on. And then at the same time, we have Helen going through the pageant. She's like watching all the other girls do, or one girl specifically, do her talent show portion.
And that was shit.
It was shit. And even Helen, you can see on her face, she thinks it's shit.
She was like, and she looked up at Barry and she was just like, they were kind of laughing. But then she looks up again and it was like,
the murderer
bye-bye, for real, Barry
is back behind Barry and he ends up getting murdered. Up in the balcony, and that's
she's
whenever
fucking screaming.
She's like, he's getting murdered up there, and it's the way I don't understand why everybody started like trying to stop her from like people were just like holding her back and stopping her, like
as if she was like known to have outbursts like this.
Yeah, it was
something.
really weird. And then we have the cop, and he's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Go to the balcony," and then they go to the balcony, and he's not there, obviously, because why would it be that easy? And so she looks pretty crazy.
It was also a weak ass search.
It really
was.
They
didn't actually search.
There was and there was blood up there, obviously, because we saw it dripping.
Yeah.
And so she looks crazy.
Very reminiscent of the first, like the OG story of the blood, because she was saying it was drip, dripping.
Oh, you're right. And then we have nobody believing her. She has to give up her crown. She leaves. And that's whenever
fucking dick ass cop.
Really? Because the cop wants to take her home. That's whenever the cop is in the car with her. They're talking about the story, and we got another kind of iteration of like, no, the way I heard it was. And then
it was
they
an
ended up
mental patient.
Which
gave me Halloween.
They ended up going to the alley. They had to take an alley because obviously the streets were cut off because of the parade. And so they go through the alley, and at this point there's a truck blocking the way. And then he's like, wait, hold up, let me see what this guy needs help, or I'll be right back. And immediately we obviously know this is the killer. And he ends up walking up to him. He's like, hey, bud, what can I do for you? And she's like yelling at him, look behind you, behind you. Obviously, as soon as he turns to her to see what she's saying, he gets killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
there's a few moments where both her and Julie call out to the people who are about to get murdered and then distract them, and then they get hit. And it's like, fucking don't call out their name, literally, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, because if she wouldn't have,
he probably would have kept his eyes on
him.
I
don't know. But literally.
Who knows?
Who knows? It serves the plot that he's dead. She has to literally then kick through the windshield. The
she does
window.
a good job. She's fucking killing it.
Can you do that? I thought they were like very tough to do.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like bulletproof cop car windows.
Right.
But
I don't know. But like she just kicks right through it. It's also 1997.
Yeah.
She kicks through it and then crawls out of the car, ends up running.
So cute.
He is doing what all murderers do from horror movies, and is literally just like
walking,
not even like fast-paced walking, but just like a slow
and
walk
at this
as
point,
she's running.
At this point,
and
for
it's still
some reason,
up.
I put oh, it's Susie's father, Benjamin.
Yeah.
So at that point, something was said that made me think that, but I don't remember.
It was whatever happened with Missy, right? Right before that. Because it's happening kind of all in the same time.
Oh, I guess. Yeah. Was there a flashback to that? Because I was like, well, now the cop dead and she's stuck in the back. Oh, it's Susie's father, Benjamin. Damn, Elsa, listen for once were my notes. So something.
Well, because at this point, well, I don't know. Because I feel like at that point, Julia had already said it. It was not David. It's Benjamin. She literally says out the name. Remember when she's leaving Missy's place? And that's at the same time we're getting what's happening between Helen and the Missy and Julie storyline. It's happening like going back and between forth. And so then we end up having Helen running for her life. She ends up then running to the store. And that's why you say, Elsa, listen, because Helen is like, open the freaking door. And Elsa's taking her goddamn time. And then she has to go back to get the keys. She's just like, what the heck is wrong? And Helen is like,
call the fucking police. There's someone after me. Because she was like, I'm being attacked. And she was like, yeah, okay. And it was like, fucking bitch, listen. If my sibling came to me in a panic, barefoot, like looking like a fucking mess, I would have been like, oh, maybe I should listen. Maybe this is a fun little trick.
Murder.
Yeah.
And so, she ends up locking the door. She's told to go lock the other door.
Because she's like, that entrance is open.
Yeah. And so she goes to go lock it. But
he's already in.
Yeah, he's already in. Jody / Helen / Sarah Michelle Gellar is making the phone call to the police. And as she's trying to do so, Elsa gets murdered. She hears her screaming. That was such a it gave very Freaky Friday the 13th whenever the girl gets killed.
Oh, yeah, right before the axe.
Yeah. And so anyways,
way too much screaming.
We have
the way you
Helen,
dragged her with her body
all
was
the
fun
names.
too.
Oh my God. Helen is like, oh shit. She's dead.
At this point I was like, well, at least Helen's ghost outfit will be cute.
Yeah, it really was.
The dress was so pretty with the little necklace. I was like, she'll
and so
be
she ends
cute
up
in afterlife.
Running away. She ends up not making it very well. What does she gets on that little thing? It's like what are those called?
It
a dumbwaiter. A dumbwaiter. But not. It's like a platform because it's like
they were lifting things up. It was like a makeshift elevator
that she had to crank. So she's cranking it, she's pulling it,
and
she's
this was
getting on the way up.
This was not her smartest move.
No, not at all.
Because the mannequin had jumped at her at that point too.
And
which was not a mannequin, it was him.
Oh, that's right.
Which was like,
and he jumped out of that plastic. I thought that was a really good scene.
Yeah,
I can't believe I didn't mention that.
Mannequins are scary. As someone who
they are
literally works in a clothing store, and I have to be there late at night by myself.
They scare you, I'm sure.
Yeah, with mannequins being around, it's like.
And then something could be behind the mannequin, or something is the mannequin, like this
was.
And he jumps out, and then he's trying to attack her. He ends up just walking up the stairs, and by the time she gets pulled all the way up, he's literally right there where she is. So
and
she ends up then
that was dumb as hell.
not knocking out, but going through a window, and then she jumps out of it, ends up falling really hard. You can tell it probably took the wind out of her.
Yeah, she was a little disoriented.
Yeah.
Her vision was blurry.
And then after that, she is running down the different alleys, and then she ends up seeing the parade, and she's trying to run towards the parade. But
she was
before
so
she was so close,
but literally like 5 feet.
But it's not even it's her own fault because she stops. Like if she would have just kept sprinting,
run into it. Yeah.
I feel like she would have made it and disrupted the thing, and then there would have been a scene, and then cause she would have even at least maybe tripped up a guy or something. I don't know. And so anyway, she does not make it, and it's the way that the whole parade is going on.
Murdered
literally 5 feet away from
the
people.
marching band's like tink tink right next to them.
She's getting murdered. She's getting pounded because she's fighting. She's winning a good fight.
She is. There's so much sound happening. The fireworks are going off. The marching band is going by. Literally, the drum line was passing those little tires right as she was getting murdered, and
you hear her fighting with him. It's like a very and then
but if
you hear him.
Drum line, you're not gonna hear shit,
and you hear his heaviness of whacking her and And so, anyways, at that point, we know Helen is pretty much dead.
Yeah.
And then she gets killed. And then at this point, Julie is searching for Helen. She ends up finding Ray in the boat, remember?
Yep.
And that's whenever she sees it's Billy Blue. And that's when we're like, wait, he is Billy Blue.
The way that he was like, she was like, we need to find Helen. We need to find Barry. And he was like, we will. Just come on board. And I was like, nah, bitch. Nah, don't fucking trust him.
Yeah.
I was like, it's him. He's Billy Blue.
And so obviously that puts a big red flag for her. And she's like, wait, nah. and she runs away from him. And she does get away from him. But at this point, some other fisherman dude
Fucking
who's not in a
clotheslines
slicker
him.
clotheslines him. And then he's like, "Are you in trouble?" And she's like, whatever. And he tells her to go in
Get
his
on the
boat.
boat.
And so she ends up listening to him. She goes on the boat. And it's at that point that he stays with Ray. But then as she's on the boat, she immediately starts seeing things that are like really tipping
She sees her hat.
off. Yeah.
She sees her hat hanging there on the wall.
It was her hat. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, it was her hat.
Oh.
And then she goes in, finds all the pictures of her, all the pictures of like
The
the
gang.
clippings from Susie's murder or death, and then David Egan and everything. And she's like, oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then he comes on and he's like, are you in trouble? And he was like, it's 4th of July. You should be drinking, partying, running people
Murdering
over.
people. Yeah, literally. I love it. And she's
I was
just
like,
like, at
"Oh,
this point, she
there it
knows.
is."
She's like, you're Ben Willis. He's like, you're damn straight I am. And,
Damn Skippy.
And that's whenever I guess she tries to run out through another like side, and he of course walks right behind her, and he catches up to her.
My brain was going like haywire at this point. I was like, had Ray just gone to investigate? That's why he used the name Billy Blue, which is what he went with. And or I was like, or is it a double killer situation? I was like, oh, are they both in on it?
That was
then
Ray could have been her sister, his dad, brother, dad
yeah,
kind
I
of
thought
combo.
he was the brother, and then that was the dad, and they were both trying to kill people.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I could see that.
But I also know because like if they had ran over the dad, that wouldn't have made any sense in actuality.
But I like it. That would have been a solid plot point. And so we have, it just makes it have more layers, you know? They could have, this is a very simple, like A, B, C, D. It's pretty played out. Like
I think because
it's not too complex.
I think because
Scream
of
was more
Scream,
complex.
I was, and all the similarities I was seeing, it was like, there's a fucking twist. There's got to be a fucking twist.
But it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish
there's
they
only
would've
just
gone
like a
with
couple.
Freddy.
There's only like 2 twists, really. And yeah. And so yeah, then we have Ben Willis on the boat. We have Julie. She's trying to get away from him, and she ends up like avoiding him at a lot of different times.
This boat
is
huge.
Massive. I put on the same thing. I'm like, this is a big ass boat.
I put, damn, how big is
it
this
does
boat?
not look that big on the outside.
It
and then
looks
you
like
have
the
her going
fucking
through like
Titanic.
different compartments. She's in like a storage room. She's in like
She was in a boiler room.
A boiler room. And then she's like in an ice room.
Fun fact, that ice was made of gelatin.
Oh, really?
So that way she could easily maneuver her way through that scene.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And she was like,
yeah. I was like, damn. I was expecting a really nice nipple shot too through her thin little shirt. We didn't get it.
No, because it was
excited.
Jello.
Yeah.
And so we have her essentially getting away from the most part from him. And then we have Ray getting on the boat, and he's trying to like fight with him, but then he gets thrown overboard. And then or that happened intermediate. I don't know. It's happening all at the same time.
Yeah. He gets thrown. This is the situation where she's like, Ray!
Yeah.
And then he fucking like while they're in the middle of a fight, and then he like looks at her and then gets fucking punched overboard.
Yeah. And then
it's
he
like,
falls
you
off.
dumb
Thankfully,
bitch.
though, he gets caught up by the fishnets.
Yep.
And then we have him hanging on. He fights his way to get back. It's the way that he has to like climb all the way and go all the way to like the mast to work down. Like you had to go up to go down. It's very opposite of as above, so below.
Oh.
And so shout out. And then we have, if y'all haven't listened to that episode, go listen to that episode. Anyways,
It's good.
and then we have, what does it happen? Tell me what happens.
So basically,
I want to hear it from you.
She's going down. This is where she finds the ice room because she's in the boiler room. She's locked that door. She knows he's coming for her. She sees this other door. She takes her shirt off, uses it to like open it. Oh, she goes into this like water room first too. She
really
gets
weird.
in there and then is like trying to hide, gets into the ice room. And as she's like trying to block the door so he can't get to her, she's like pouring down this ice and trying to really pile it up against the door.
And then
she uncovers some corpses.
Yeah, which happened to be Helen
and Barry.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, that's a pretty solid fucking place to hide some corpses.
Yeah,
I was
for
like,
sure.
okay,
Put them in the ice.
that's pretty good.
It'll stay fresh, and you can have some time to figure out what you're going to end up doing with them.
Exactly. And then she kind of gets out to the top, but homeboy comes back around, and he's like, above her.
Yeah.
And then Freddy's like, yo, bitch. He doesn't actually say that, but he's
Whomps them with whatever that thing is.
the the pulley. It was like a pulley system thing.
Yeah.
And it, right to the face.
And knocked him up, knocked him
But
knocked him, but then somehow like pulled him up, right?
no, not yet.
Oh, that's
so it
right.
knocked him over. And this is where it's like, bitch, you gotta fucking double tap, because then his eyeballs go bing.
That's
they
right.
open up and he's like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna kill y'all. But then he's like, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He goes to chop though, and his hand, as he's pulling it back, gets
caught,
and then it rips
and
him
then
right
gets
up.
yanked up, and then his hand gets cut off, and then he ends up falling a little bit, but then the way it wraps around him, his legs then strung up and he's dangling.
And then thrown overboard.
Yeah.
Basically. And I was like, oh, now he's chumming the water.
But I also thought he's not dead.
Fishies.
No.
Yeah, especially whenever they're like, don't worry, we'll find the body. And all it pulled up was a fucking hand.
And then they were
like,
hook. And then he's like, it always comes up eventually.
Yeah, and I was like, now they don't know if he's really dead though. I was like, fuck that, he did.
And that's why we get a sequel.
Oh, and then as they were sitting there having their little moment, Freddie and Daphne.
Oh yeah.
I was like, damn, Freddie's acting as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was like,
Freddie and Julie.
Yeah. Well,
Daphne?
Ray and Julie.
Yeah.
I was saying Freddie and Daphne.
Yeah.
Because of
the Daphne. Yeah.
Fred and Daphne. Yeah.
But I get what you mean.
Yes. Anyways, they were sitting there. Their acting was not that great. Or his acting wasn't.
No.
And but he was like, I couldn't lose you again, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, basically, they had sex once. She got that voodoo clam, trapped him in, and he was like, I am a slave.
He wants more.
For you. Britney Spears.
I like it.
Her memoir. Anyways, but it got pretty fucked up.
It did.
And
he loves her. He wants to be with her.
Because
this is endgame for him. Yeah. Literally. He wants to lock that shit down.
Because she got money.
He fought for it. Honestly, he didn't quit.
That's true. He did.
And then the cops come up and they're like, would y'all know why this guy wants to have y'all killed? And they're like, nope, not at all.
None. Yeah.
Literally.
No idea. Which is like, that's exactly
as
what
if the cops couldn't just go to the room and be like, oh, okay, this guy thought that these people killed her son, daughter, or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, then we have all of that happening. Then
it cuts to a scene of Julie, Jennifer Love Hewitt, in her little towel.
A year later.
She's made the dean's list. She's clearly doing so much better than she was.
Yeah.
And
she's living her life now.
Looking so cute, going to get into the shower, talking on her little telephone. And she's like, no, I love you more.
Because she's talking to Ray.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's
and
so
then
fucking
she's like,
cringy.
babe,
I'm like,
I gotta go because I'm late and I gotta take a shower. So she's in the shower. But it's hot and steamy.
What's her face says, Julie, you got some mail. So she's like, I'm gonna go check. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Obviously. It's a letter. Again. And what does it say?
It's like, welcome to the pool party.
Yeah.
It's a fucking pool party invitation. A pool party invitation. And I was like, just like she was. She was like,
she's a little like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And then she walks back in though. And the room is hella steamy. And I'm like, bitch, did you only turn on the hot water? She ready to scald her skin off. And what's written in the
I still
steam?
know.
I
still know what you did last summer.
Which is
ISKWYDLS.
Which is the third film.
It's the second film.
Second film.
I still know what you did.
What's
the last
third?
one is I always know what you did last summer.
Literally
they were
the
pushing it.
Fucking name
they were pushing it. And that one I think was like years later, 10 or something years later. It didn't, and I don't know if it's even intertwines with the rest of it.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sure it would
different
though.
People, but not like in a well done way, like Scream 5.
The sequel actually still had Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Good.
And
yeah, that's true. She was there, and it looked like a roommate. Possibly.
Yeah. No. Well, it's actually Brandy. Brandy plays her. Brandy's in that movie.
Okay. I've not ever seen it.
Brandy Williams, I believe that's her last name. Moesha. Yeah. She's in that one.
But then this motherfucker pops through the glass.
Yeah.
And then it's like credits. That last one kind of got me. I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting him to come through the glass. So I was like, it was fun. Anyways,
and then that's the end of the movie.
That literally is. What how do you feel about this film? What would you rate it? It was a wild ride. It was fun.
It was pretty good. I honestly really liked it.
Yeah, I did too. I was surprised because apparently, I never actually seen this film. I thought I did. I'm only really ever remembering Scary Movie.
Brandy Norwood. Sorry,
Brandy
she's
Norwood.
in it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
said the
so
wrong
beautiful.
last name. Yes. But yeah, I would rate it a solid 4. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay, that's
I'm
what
gonna
I
give
was
it a solid
expecting
4.
you to say.
I'm gonna give it a 4 because it kept me entertained. I thought there was a good little twists in it that like really was just like, oh, okay, the whole time I was thinking Max, and then I'm thinking Ray, and now I know it's this guy.
Yeah.
And then even before, I liked the pacing. I liked how the characters were fleshed out. I got who everybody was. There's nothing, sure, at times, sure, things were a little overacted, but I knew who everybody was in the movie, and I knew what they were like putting into it. I knew Helen and Barry were going to die.
Yeah.
Of course.
They had
they were going to die.
Yeah.
The pretty people, the blonde ones, they were going to die.
They always have to.
And
clearly Julie was giving final girl.
And I
vibes.
honestly thought Ray would have died at one point too.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was going to die too, but he ended up surviving with her.
I was hoping he was going to get murdered right in front of her eyes. Really fuck her up.
But the story is good. And honestly, yes, they could have done a lot more. But I do like that it's kind of very like, it's not overcomplicated. And it's very much just a solid revenge story. This dad wanted to get revenge for Susie. Yeah. It ended up to him getting it, but then
pretty
getting run
believable.
over. And I feel like for that point, because he was already someone who was like, created this like psyche of revenge and like whatever, when he got ran over, it was no longer like revenge for Susie. I think it was just more so like, y'all fucked me up, like I'm gonna fuck y'all up, like, and y'all tried to put me in the freak. Y'all literally not one did y'all hit me, y'all didn't check to see if I was okay, y'all then
tried to drown me
because y'all then knew that I was alive. And at that point, y'all could have just been like, "Oh, our bad."
Yeah.
No, y'all literally threw me in the water.
Exactly. They should have called the cops in and been like, "Oh my god." Yeah, if they
crazy
had
story.
Called the ambulance, it would have.
Guess what happened to us?
Yeah.
But then they literally know he's alive and then physically tried to drown him. They tried to kill him. So at that point, he's getting revenge on himself. Like, I'm a one up.
Yeah. He literally says the line, next time you want to kill someone, make sure they're actually dead.
Yeah.
Which is what they didn't do. They just saw
Which
his
gives, honestly, too.
This man's hella resilient.
This man has killed people before Susie died.
Yeah, he was in the war.
I'm talking about serial killer. I'm talking about this man. This man has killed people before even Susie thing happened.
That's why he's a fisherman, so he can dump their bodies way.
He knew what he was doing. He had things like within a year already. He already knew like yada yada yada.
I think he's a fish
the way
person.
He was in people's houses,
clinging to the bottom of the boat.
Not only though did he get into her vehicle, he had to like made either like a key, a copy. I don't know.
No, he creepy.
What do you give this movie?
I don't know. It was really good. I really enjoyed it as well. I might go
7.
Best horror film I've ever seen. 3.75.
I like it.
No, I was gonna give it a 4 because whenever I was listening to you talk, I was like, if you give this anything less than a 4, I might be mad in my brain, just because I was like, you like it. Yeah, I like it too. It is a 4. It was a good film.
It's a really fun. It's not something that's too heavy. It's really easy to follow along. If you haven't seen it before, I think this is also a really great movie for people who aren't necessarily like that into scary movies.
Yeah,
because it's not like it's not that scary. And I would say it even falls. And I would say it even falls more on the side of like a thriller, psychological, like whodunit kind of thing. Like it's really good. It's concise.
It's also not that gory.
And I like that also. There weren't as many twists. I keep saying like I like how simple it was. I like how simple it was.
It was
of like
very straightforward.
Yeah, it didn't.
Although I really do still wish A, they would have boiled Max's head, and B, that it would have been Freddy. I would have liked that. And Freddy was Susie's brother all along. Well, Freddy was Susie's sister.
There's a lot of other added layers that could have been put into it. Yeah. I agree.
But overall, I think a 4 is pretty solid for this film. But recommend it. Make it your new July 4th tradition. Watch Independence Day with Will Smith.
That's a good one.
And then follow it right with this.
I know what you did last summer. IKW DYLS WXYZ
AMLOP
LGBTQIA+.
That's right.
Shout out.
And but as always, we are in the lovely
Rogue Media Network Studios.
That's right. They always take great care of us. They make us sound beautiful. And they have a whole slew of other podcasts that are also super duper awesome. Yeah. And then, well, maybe we'll get to work with some of them in the future.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's exciting. So there are some things underway that y'all
really
can look forward to. But wherever you can find us there. You can find all the other podcasts there on roguemedianetwork.com.
And also Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Those are 2 of the biggest places. And
just like a slew of other streaming platforms as well, wherever you'd like to listen to your podcast.
Wherever you get your podcast, you can find us. But wherever you do listen, don't forget to
rate, review, like, and subscribe.
That's right, because that's the only way we can get ahead. And yeah, I'm excited about
I'm excited
this.
too. There's a lot of like
good things happening.
Good things, a lot of exciting ideas, a lot of
people have come over from TGOG, and
shout out.
That's really super exciting for us.
Thank you guys for listening. We are
special.
really excited to like share the things that we have planned, the things that we want to do, the little ideas that stir in our head at night.
Yeah.
That evade us when we get to meetings, when they ask us about them, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm on the spot. I know I had ideas, but right now I just.
It's like when I get to the doctor and then he's like, so what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, nothing.
Like literally, right?
And
but
it's like, he's
I
like,
had a whole
fucking
list.
scheduled an appointment.
I did. But anyways.
I did have to start making a list.
I wake up and I'm a hypochondriac. That's all. I think I'm dying immediately.
Always. But we also do have exactly one social media platform that you can find us on. And that is on Instagram at
Boobays Podcast, and that's BOOBAES, because we are your boobays, not your boobabes.
That's right.
And we would love to have y'all interact with us, send us DMs, tell us what movies y'all would like for us to cover. If you know any summer horror slashers that maybe we're not giving any credit to or just missing out on, please.
Yeah, so that way, I mean, if we can't cover them this summer, there's always next.
Yeah.
And we do, I mean, it's spooky season. Spirit of Halloween is fucking
getting very
open.
close.
And also, I'm mad that it's not in its original location here in Waco now. It's in some little tiny strip center next to Target now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
No, this other place is called like Bin Drop, and it's now permanently there, and Spirit's not there. So I was very confused.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But anyways, it's full on spooky season, bitches. So
ready for it.
Let us
Summer
know
is
what films you want us to cover. I mean, it's still hot as balls here in Texas.
I say summer's over as we have like one more summer movie to cover.
Yeah.
Or two. But anyways, okay, you guys. Thank y'all for listening.
Yeah.
And until next time.
Bye, bays.
Bye, bays.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.